My reflection smiled at me, but I wasn't smiling. It all started on Friday the 13th. My friends had convinced me to sneak out at 2 a.m. and ride our bikes to the neighborhood cemetery just for fun. It was our last spring break before college, and we all wanted to try something daring. We pedaled down the empty street, the wind whipping against our faces. The street lights flickered, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch toward us. My heart thumped, but I tried to play it cool. "Why are we even doing this?" I whispered to Macy. "Because it's Friday the 13th, don't tell me you're scared already," she teased, grinning. "Me? Scared? Never," I said, though my voice wobbled. "Hey, what if you died the day before your birthday?" Jake joked as we neared the cemetery. "You'd make a good ghost story." We all laughed, though the sound felt too loud in the silence, bouncing off the houses and empty streets. When we arrived, we parked our bikes and zipped up our jackets. The cemetery was bigger and darker than I remembered, gravestones leaning in crooked rows. The air smelled of damp earth and decaying leaves, and the silence pressed on our ears. Jake flicked on his giant flashlight, the beam cutting across the tombstones. "This place is creepy as hell," he said. "Understatement of the year," I muttered, hugging my jacket tighter. Macy pulled out the Ouija board she'd stolen from her parents' basement and held it up. "We're doing this for real, no backing out." "I think backing out would be smart," I said nervously. "Don't be such a baby," Macy said. "It's just a board, relax." We sat in a circle, hands hovering over the planchette. My fingers brushed Jake's, and I jumped. "Is anyone here?" Michaela asked. We waited and nothing. A nervous laugh escaped me. "See? Totally harmless," Jake said. Then the planchette trembled slightly, and Macy gasped, "Did you see that?" "I didn't touch it," Jake said, wide-eyed. "It's moving," I whispered, my voice barely audible. A rustle of leaves behind us made all of us freeze. I swear I could hear footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling the circle. "Someone's messing with us," Jake said. "I don't think so," Macy said, her voice shaking now. "It's answering the board, it's moving on its own." I wanted to laugh, but the sound stuck in my throat. Every shadow seemed alive. Every breath sounded too loud, and in that instant, I realized we might not be alone at all. The planchette suddenly jerked violently, spinning across the board like it had a mind of its own. "Stop moving," I screamed, trying to pull my hands away, but it kept sliding, faster, sharper, rattling across the letters. Macy's eyes went wide. "Oh my God, it's answering!" A sudden gust of wind ripped through the cemetery, tossing leaves like tiny black daggers. The flashlight flickered, then went out. Darkness swallowed us. "Did you feel that?" Jake whispered, voice shaking. His hair was plastered to his forehead, the cold biting through his jacket. The planchette shot to the edge of the board, rocking it so hard I thought it would tip over. A low, dragging sound came from the far side of the cemetery, slow, deliberate, like someone dragging a chain. "Somebody's here," I shrieked, pulling my hands back. "No, it's the board," Macy screamed, but even her voice quivered. Suddenly the planchette spun in a circle, faster and faster, and a scream of wind filled the night, rustling the trees and whipping around us. Leaves slapped our faces, cold and sharp. The air felt thick, heavy, pressing down on our lungs. "I can't do this," I gasped, stepping back, but the circle of hands was frozen in fear. Then a bright flashlight beam cut through the darkness. "Hey," a gruff voice shouted. A cemetery guard came running, tripping over roots, shouting at the top of his lungs. We all screamed, scattering in panic, tripping over gravestones, bikes clattering to the side. "What are you doing at this hour?" the guard barked, flashlight swinging wildly. "We were just," Jake stammered. "Go home now," the guard yelled. We rode hard down the empty street, the wind rushing past us, not gentle but forceful, like it was chasing us. The trees lining the road bent and creaked, their branches scraping against each other in long dragging motions that sounded almost like whispers. No one spoke at first. Our breathing filled the space between us, uneven and shaky. The only other sound was the wind slipping through our jackets, finding every inch of exposed skin. Jake was the first to break the silence. "That guard really came out of nowhere." No one laughed. I kept my eyes ahead, gripping my handlebars harder, my knuckles aching, but I didn't loosen my hold. I couldn't bring myself to look behind us because I already knew what it would feel like. That same heaviness, that same awareness, like something was just out of sight, keeping pace with us. By the time I reached my house, the air felt thick, like the sky itself was pressing down. I stepped inside, locked the door, and stood there for a moment listening. Nothing, just the faint hum of the house settling. That should have been the end of it. Looking back now, that should have been enough. That should have been our warning, but it wasn't. The next morning I woke up feeling different. Not the kind of different that comes with excitement or turning a year older, just different. It sat quietly in my chest like something had shifted overnight, something I couldn't see but could feel. For a few seconds I just lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to the soft morning sounds. Outside, birds moving, distant, cars passing, everything felt normal but I didn't feel normal. My body felt heavier like I hadn't rested at all and there was this faint uneasiness I couldn't explain like I had forgotten something important. I pushed the feeling aside, quickly reminding myself that it was my birthday. Before I could even sit up properly my door burst open and my parents and little brother rushed in singing happy birthday, their voices loud, messy, and completely off key. I couldn't help it, I laughed, the sound coming out easier than I expected. The warmth of it, all the attention, the love, it washed over me and pushed that strange feeling further and further away. I sat up smiling, hugging them one by one. 17 already, my mom said, brushing my hair back from my face, time moving too fast, my dad added, shaking his head. My little brother just grinned, you're old now, I laughed and pulled him into a quick hug, thank you guys. They stayed a little longer talking and joking before finally leaving the room, telling me to hurry up and get ready. As soon as the door closed, the room went quiet again. I sat there for a second longer than I needed to, listening to the silence, feeling that same strange weight settle back in my chest. I stood up slowly and walked over to my mirror. For a moment I just stared at myself, everything looked normal, my hair, my face, my expression. Still, something about it felt off, but I couldn't place what it was. I shook my head lightly, forcing a small laugh under my breath. Get it together, I muttered to myself. I got ready, taking my time choosing my outfit, something new, something I had been excited to wear. I smoothed it down, adjusted it in the mirror, turning slightly side to side, trying to feel good, trying to match the excitement I knew I was supposed to have. By the time I finished, I looked like I felt fine, and that was enough. I grabbed my phone, took a quick breath and headed downstairs. The second my foot hit the last step, everyone yelled, surprise, I froze. The living room exploded with sound, voices, laughter, music, balloons shifting, decorations hanging from the ceiling, bright colors everywhere. For a second I just stood there trying to take it all in. Oh my gosh, I laughed, covering my mouth as I stepped forward, you guys. People rushed toward me, hugging me, talking over each other, wishing me happy birthday. My heart started racing, but this time it felt good, light, overwhelming in the best way. I moved through the room, greeting everyone, hugging relatives, friends, neighbors, people I hadn't expected to see. The table was covered in food, the smell sweet and warm filling the space. Music played in the background, mixing with laughter and conversation. For a while I forgot everything else. I forgot the cemetery, I forgot the wind, I forgot the feeling. I collected gifts, stacking them to the side, thanking everyone over and over, smiling so much my cheeks started to hurt. Then I saw them. Jake and Macy standing off to the side watching everything. I made my way over, still smiling. Jake grinned the second he saw me. Look who made it to 17 after almost dying last night. I laughed, shaking my head. Stop, we were actually so scared. Macy rolled her eyes but smiled. We were being ridiculous. Jake nodded, for real, that wind had us acting like something was out there. Yeah, I said, laughing a little louder now. Turns out it was just the storm coming in, Jake said. Some breeze from that storm that's supposed to hit next week, Macy added. Nothing even happened the second night. We all paused for a second thinking about it. Then Jake let out a short laugh, and just like that we all started laughing too, louder this time, easier, like the fear from the night before didn't even belong to us anymore. Like it had been exaggerated, like it had been nothing. We laughed like complete idiots, standing there in the middle of the party, surrounded by light and noise and people. Convincing ourselves it had all just been in our heads. Not realizing that something had already followed us home, and it was still there, quiet, waiting. As everyone gathered around the table, the room filled with singing voices, loud and messy and full of laughter. The candles flickered in front of me, their light dancing across everyone's faces. I closed my eyes for a second, made a quick wish and blew them out. Before I could even react, my little brother shoved my face straight into the cake. Cold icing pressed against my skin and everyone burst into laughter. The room spun with noise, people clapping, shouting, calling my name. I pulled back, wiping frosting from my eyes, laughing even harder. Got you, my brother yelled, running off. My aunt hurried over, still laughing, holding up her phone. Wait, I got it, look at this. I wiped some of the cake from my face and leaned in to see the photo. At first I was just laughing at how messy I looked, icing smeared across my cheeks, my hair slightly out of place, everyone around me mid-laugh, frozen in the moment. Then I noticed it, right behind me. Something darker than the rest of the room, something that didn't belong, a shape, tall, still and wrong. It wasn't clear enough to be a person, but it wasn't just a shadow either. It stood directly behind me, slightly stretched like it was leaning forward. My smile faded. Do you see that? I asked quietly. My aunt squinted at the screen, then waved it off with a small laugh. Oh, that's probably just the lighting or something wrong with the camera. You know these phones act up sometimes. I didn't laugh. I grabbed her phone, scrolling through the other pictures she had taken. It was there too, in every single one. Always behind me, always in the same place, watching. A chill ran down my spine. I'm just gonna wash this off, I said, quickly forcing a smile as I handed the phone back. No one seemed to notice the shift in my voice. I moved through the crowd a little too fast, heading upstairs, my heart starting to beat harder with each step. The noise from the party followed me up, but it felt distant, like it was coming from somewhere far away. I reached my bathroom, stepped inside and locked the door behind me. The click sounded louder than it should have. I turned on the sink and leaned over it, scrubbing the cake from my face, the cold water grounding me for a moment. It's nothing, I whispered to myself, just shadows, just lighting. I looked up at the mirror, my reflection stared back at me. Exactly how it should be. I let out a slow breath, some of the tension leaving my body. See, you're fine, I muttered. I splashed my face again, water dripping down my skin, and closed my eyes for a second, letting myself calm down. When I opened them, my reflection was still smiling, but I wasn't. The smile on its face was too wide, too still, stretched in a way that didn't belong to me. It didn't reach its eyes, and yet somehow it felt like it was looking directly at me. My chest tightened, I froze, every part of me went cold. Slowly I lifted my hand toward my face, my reflection didn't move, the smile stayed exactly the same, unfamiliar, wrong. Fear hit me all at once, sharp and suffocating. I quickly splashed water on my face again, harder this time, my hands shaking. Stop, I whispered, breath uneven. I looked back up, everything was normal again. My reflection matched me perfectly, no strange smile, no delay, nothing. I let out a shaky breath, gripping the sink. It's just in your head, I said quietly, you're just tired. I turned slightly, grabbing a towel, wiping my face, trying to steady myself. Then something made me look back. I don't know why, but I did, and this time my reflection moved first, its head tilted slightly, its eyes locked onto mine, and slowly it lifted its hand and waved. A sharp choking sound tore from my throat. Before I could stop it, then I screamed. A deep, gut-wrenching scream that burned my chest and ripped through my throat. But downstairs, the music, the laughter, the voices, swallowed it completely. No one heard, no one came, and in the mirror it was still there, still smiling, still watching me.